Welcome friends, and welcome back to Katie's Camp Kitchen. Today we're going to actually do a matchup of two rival crock pots. These are Quart Crockpots. This video was inspired by one of our great subscribers, Kevin Holland. Hi Kevin, thank you very much. He mentioned in a comment that he had once traveled with a small crock pot that only consumed 47 watts of power. I was able to procure one of these crock pots and then realized that I actually had a version of this put away in my attic, except it had a removable liner and took 75 watts of power. These crock pots cook at a temperature equivalent to the low setting on a modern crock pot. These crock pots are great for meals for one or two, or for sides for a meal or a party. These crock pots weigh only 3.5 pounds, and their size is 8 inches diameter, 5 inches tall. I started with a small butternut squash that I de-seeded and trimmed, and we ended up with about a pound of butternut squash each. This is my testing setup. I have a model 3205 that consumes 47 watts. The crock is not removable. This crockette is a model 3200/3. It consumes 75 watts and its crock is removable. I have two of the same type of energy monitors bought at the same time with the same type of cords between my Montech 1000 portable power station and the two energy monitors, and then I have those connected to each of the crock pots. So what I'm going to do is add a half a cup of water to each crock pot. And now I'm going to put my measured butternut squash in. Let's see if that works now. There we go. Okay, that's seated properly. $70 and $47. We're at the 3-hour mark and thought we would go ahead and check on our butternut squash. We've used 140 watt hours, and that's versus the 210 watt hours on the one with the removable crock pot. So this is without the removable crock pot, and this is with the removable crock pot. Okay, we'll let those go for another hour and see how they are then. So when I checked these at the 4-hour mark, the unit that has the removable crock, we're at 280 watt hours, and the unit with that the crock does not remove from is at 180 watt hours. Now let's see how the squash cooked. Here are the results. At hours 2, 3, and 4, I took multiple temperature readings of the squash from each of the different crocks. I also recorded the cumulative energy that had been used by each of the crocks. On the left side of each grouping, the blue mark represents the integrated or non-removable crock pot. The right side of the grouping, or the yellow bars, represent the removable crock. This is a summary of the experiment. On the left-hand side, you can see the model numbers and specifications for each of the mini crock pots that I tested, as well as whether their crock was integrated or removable. The next section is the cumulative energy or watt hours measured at 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours for each of the crock pot types. The next section is average temperature. I measured the squash from each of the crock pots and averaged them. This is the 4-hour temperatures. 170 degrees in the non-removable crock pot and 152 degrees was the average for the removable crock pot. I also measured the exterior temperatures of each of the crock pots. I measured both the sides and the tops, as well as the temperature of the remaining water in the crock pots. Over on the right hand side, I have a list of the pros and cons for each of the types of crock pots. For the pros of the non-removable or integrated crock pot, they are definitely more energy efficient, they heat faster, and they cook the food faster. The only con really is that the crock's unremovable and therefore perhaps harder to clean, but not by much. For the removable crock pot, the pro is it's easier to clean, and the crock can be stored separately in the refrigerator if you want to prepare the meal the night before. The cons of the removable crock pot are that it uses more energy and more power, and it's slower to reach the cooking temperatures, and it's hotter to the touch on the exterior while cooking. In conclusion, I will definitely be keeping this new little crock pot, as well as my recently rediscovered other crock pot. If I had to only pick one of the crock pots, however, I would pick the one with the integrated lining, because it uses 30% less power while at the same time heating much more efficiently and hotter. So if you add up the efficiency differences plus the fact that it heats up hotter in the same amount of time, it's somewhere around 40 to 50% more efficient than the one with the removable crock pot. These are also useful, especially for small solar generators. I can hook a very small portable solar panel, maybe one that I just have this extra laying around. I can hook that to a small portable power station and basically keep it topped off via pass-through charging, since either of these use so little energy. They also have a very small footprint, so they're easy to store, easy to carry. I want to say thanks again to Kevin Holland for commenting about this particular crock pot, and I want to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks so very much.